Hey, what's going on? This is Marcos. Today we'll be talking about my live stream setup. I'm talking about the Atem Mini Pro. This is something I picked up a couple months ago, and recently I also got this ATEM156 from Seetec. This is a 15.6 inch monitor, which has simplified my live stream setup. Before, I was actually using live stream a band using this 5-inch Ninja 5, and also have a 7-inch from OZ T7. But that wasn't big enough when you're doing live streaming because you're dealing with multiple camera angles. Now, this monitor right here was made for to work with or pairs quite nicely with the Atem Mini, the original one, the one that cost $300, because it can take all the camera signals and loop them out and feed them into the Atem Mini, and then it can show you all the 4 camera angles in the monitor. Now, that's a feature that's not available built into the regular Atem Mini. The Atem Mini Pro does have the multi-view option here, as you can see there. It shows you all the multiple angles. That's the reason I went with the Atem Mini Pro. Now, if you have the Atem Mini, then something like this, a monitor like this, allow you to look at all 4 angles right here in the monitor. You just turn on let me go back, program. F4 is the default, and it'll show you all the 4 angles. Now, I didn't quite set it up like that. I didn't feed all the cameras into the monitor first. I went directly into the Atem Mini Pro because I have the multi-view. It takes a second. Multi-view option, so I don't need to feed it through. I don't need to loop it through. So it's really nice to look at a bigger screen when you're working. Or when you're doing live streaming, right? You're not just dealing with one angle, you're dealing with multiple angles. And it's very easy. Once I bring in all my cameras, let me go back to program, and then I can switch between all my different camera angles. Oh, look at that. And then my top view there, you can see it. And that's how I'm switching. 3, 2, 1. And it's pretty easy to set up. Now, the neat thing about this monitor is that you can also use it as a standalone director's monitor. I work as a cinematographer, and often I'm giving a monitor to a director, and the monitors I have are usually like the 7-inch. That's what I give to the director. But now with this, it's much nicer because if a director has a monitor like this, they can see more of the screen. They can pay attention to all the details, the background, things they want to change. Also, if we're filming with multiple cameras, I can potentially give them a feed of all the cameras, right, that we're using. Most of the time, however, I'm only working with one camera. So just having all this, to look at, it's quite nice, even for myself, even for filming these YouTube videos. This monitor comes with this U bracket that, you can swivel it, you can loosen this knobs, and you can swivel it up and down. You can also mount the whole thing from a ceiling if you have something like that. Here in this instance, I mounted it to a 1/4-inch mount. It has 3 of them in the bottom. You can see there, this metal light stand has a spigot, which you can also use like a C-stand if you have something like that. Now, if I was going to use this as a director's monitor, let's say with one camera, I would add a wireless video transmission system like this from Axoon. This is the Cine i2 Pro. I'll be doing a review about this pretty soon. There'll be a card here in the future, so check it out. I would mount this to the back using some screws. Also, the neat thing about this is that you can power it with V-mount, right? So I can power both the monitor and this through DTAP. Through just that one V-mount. So even though this monitor comes with the DC 12-volt adapter, power it to the wall, that's nice. You can also power it with V-mount, which really frees you up and take advantage of having the ability to go all wireless. So, just mount this in the back and, you're set to go. The director can walk around with the light stand, with the whole setup without running any wires. So moving on to the features, the resolution is 1920 by 1080. The build quality is quite nice. It's made out of this aluminum plastic, which feels robust. There are some plastic parts. Now the menus, you have HDMI 1 through 4. So if you're looping out and you want to look at the individuals video feeds, you can click through those. If you're using the Atem Mini Pro, you can just do it from here, from the actual console itself. That way you can look at each angle. Again, if you're only going to use it standalone, you can feed 4 cameras and look at the 4 individually using HDMI 1 through 4 or the multi-view that's built in. Okay, so it all depends on how you're using it. You know, it gives you, this monitor gives you the flexibility to use it for live streaming, but also for your own video production purposes. The menu, you can customize it. In here, the F1, this is by far my favorite. False colors, this is how I can gauge exposure. This is the RE false colors. You also have spectrum, another one that I use for, you know, especially on skin tones. You want to make sure that you're exposed correctly. Then we have F2 is for zooming in, and it's like it takes you through a whole different kinds, like left screen, right screen. So you gotta click click a couple times before you exit out of it. There, now it's off. F3 is the, I set it to the rule of thirds, and then you get also 6x6. Quite nice. You can also change this to maybe peaking, you know, that way you can tell, you know, the peaking colors like red. That's quite nice. Then F4 is the multi-view. You can see, which I'm not really taking advantage right now because I'm using the ATEM Mini Pro to do the multi-view. Okay. So I mean, I love the colors on it. I have no complaints about it. It looks nice and big, and it's easier to pull focus, definitely. So who's this monitor for? I would say that if you are doing multiple camera live streaming, you definitely need a bigger monitor. It's just easier to switch between all the different angles. If you have the ATEM Mini, definitely need something like this if you didn't spend the money on the ATEM Mini Pro or the ISO. But also for those of you who are looking for a nice director's monitor, the price, you can't beat it. I know I'll probably end up using this more as a director's monitor with the wireless video transmission system and a V-mount. That way I can have the director carry this thing around, or even for myself, you know, for these kinds of videos that I'm doing. So I look forward to using it more in my productions. If you have any questions about it, maybe I forgot to touch on some points, I always do that. I usually only talk about the things that I am interested in, the things that get me excited, which is things like the false colors, the V-mount, being able to power it with V-mount. That's awesome. The colors are great. So, you know, I feel really good about it. But if you have any other questions, any more technical questions, I'll be happy to answer them. That's it for this video. Thank you for watching, and I'll catch you on the next one.